Usually when I'm watching The Following, I watch it with a girl named Nancy and a girl named Lauren. We all watch it through our own TVs and we talk during Facebook. I was just talking to Nancy. Nancy said how slow this episode was today, and I said, yeah, it's a little bit slow. I guess we spoke too soon because that ending was a mess, and we're down to 2 more episodes. And let me tell you guys, damn. Like Florida Evans, damn. Hey everyone, this is Sage Valentine, aka Etherblade. This is my review of The Following Season 2, Episode 14, The Reaping. Let's pour out a little water, a little vodka, a little alcohol for Miss Mandi. She died too soon, and her death left a lasting impression in Joe Carroll. I don't know what it did to him, but anyway. Joe has some of his men walking, and they're walking to, that little underground thing, little cubby, where they keep all the non-believers in Corbin and in Joe Carroll's little version of Corbin. So, they take one girl who's crying, and they're taking her for a walk, and Ryan sees it. He's kind of hiding, and this dude has this high-powered machine gun on him, and Ryan basically wrestles him down and chokes the crap out of him. Then Ryan takes off running. Claire has that same brain-dead idea of going on TV and sending a message to Joe Carroll live on the air. I'm completely against it. I've been against it since she's been talking about it. I don't like it. And judging by what I saw next week, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. The FBI can't find Ryan. Carrie tells Claire to consider little Joey. Claire says, I'm going to do this with or without you. So in other words, she's going to go online, she's going to go on Facebook, she's going to find whoever will listen to her and bring this message. And I think this is stupid. All jokes aside, even though she wants to give him a message, my whole thing is that it's not smart because it's drawing her out. And it's drawing attention to her, and it's going to get her killed. She claims it'll send a big message to Joe Carroll. Mike says, Carrie and Mike are like talking when Carrie's leaving, and Michael's like, don't let her do it. She was like, I'm not doing anything until I hear from Ryan. Mike gets a call from Kingston Tanner, who said he heard from Joe. He saw the whole video, the whole thing of killing the girl, and his son was standing there to watch, and Joe says he has a lesson of true faith in the end. And the way that they found this video is somebody found a flash drive in some type of envelope or something. Kingston Tanner recognizes Mike immediately. He knows that Mike's father died, and it's just like it's a kind of a bonding moment between the two characters. But then he starts trying to pray over Mike, and Mike doesn't even want to hear this. He's trying to pray over Mike because Mike has such anger in his heart over his father's death. See, in my previous videos, I've mentioned that Mike is not yet over it. Of course, he wouldn't be over it, but he's got that rage in him, and you could tell, like, once his father died, or even since Deborah died, he's done a 180 or a 360-degree turn from the character that we remember from season 1. So Kingston Tanner says he's going to pray over Mike, and he wants to respond to Joe's message on war on his faith, which is equaling violence. Mike doesn't want him to go on TV and pray. He said, you can do that at home. So Kingston says, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to listen to you. But it's really up to God. He's one of those preachers. So Ryan is at Corbin. He sees the people in black robes. He somehow either chokes or knocks the hell out of one guy, takes his robe and his mask. And everybody's gathered around the fire and everything. Tilda, the heavyset girl from last week, she is ready to leave. Some type of final mission, some crazy mess that's going to be even worse probably than season 1. Than that massacre at the community center in season 1 is probably going to be 10 times worse. Emma tells him that Joe has faith in Tilda and you. The crowd erupts in cheers as Joe comes out. They are being the most talked about. This is the most important mission. A woman is brought up to the stage in red. Her name is Courtney. Courtney is one of the non-believers, as I said. She doesn't believe in Corbin. And I guess she and the rest of those left in that cubby all know that death becomes them, which is why she's like freaking out and crying on TV. Little Preston Tanner, the college boy, he is brought up on stage and he's supposed to kill her, but he can't do it. And Joe says you have to show that your father's words are lies and that his actions are far from godly. And he says it is inevitable. Blood must be spilt so that Courtney can go home. Preston's not sure what that means, but going home to Joe is so she'll be dead. He says no redemption without blood. Then he goes up to higher ground to this like high thing, balcony. And he said he gives Preston the choice. Either choose to join the holy war and give Courtney salvation. Life is about sacrifice. Ryan fires a shot at Joe, and at this point I'm like, Joe's probably hit was the way he ducks, but then I'm like, this is too easy, way too easy. Then this guy comes up with this gun and Ryan shoots the crap out of him. So we're back at Lily's house. The men are getting ready. They found the location of Corbin, so they're on their way there. Mark wants to go. Mark just wants to leave. I'm not going to say he's sick of it, but since the whole family's together, Luke and Mark and Lily, he wants to just leave, just be done with it. But Lily basically pushes him aside and tells him to go get ready. She said that Joe must pay for what he's done. Now here comes Robert. Now see, I'm going to make a, what do you call it? I'm going to give you my guess on what the hell is going to happen to Robert. Robert's questioning too much, and Emma's going to have to take him out the way she took out, it was either Jacob or Paul. She took out Jacob, in the car. She's going to have to take out Robert. Robert says that they're still looking for the traitor and that he saw Ryan Hardy at the college, and then Joe is pissed. Emma says, we need to leave now. Robert wants to get Joe and go safe, but Joe doesn't want to, go anywhere safe. He's resigned himself to finishing what it is that he needs to do. Emma says that you need to think about this. She kind of touches his face and he flinches, and I says, see, if you didn't catch my video from last week, definitely catch up with it. I'm going to try to put the link in this video. If I don't, then it's the video before this. It's episode 11. Basically, Joe is still pissed about what happened to Mandi, and he still blames Emma, which is why he's on this crazy last suicide mission this episode, because that really screwed him up, like really, really bad. Emma says that he's off. And she says that this could end if the FBI gets involved. And he said, well, then it ends. In other words, after what happened with Claire, his son, he can't find his son, his newly kind of adopted daughter, Mandi's dead. He's like ready to have his end game. He's ready to go. I fear anybody who feels that way because they take everybody down with them before they go. Max says nothing. There's nothing really to work with on the video. The video that Kingston Tanner sent. That Joe Carroll sent Kingston Tanner. Max says it's weird that Mike is not grieving. Mike says he's not running. She said, like, you're not running, but you may be on a revenge mission to get Lily. But Mike is trying to act like he's not, like everything is fine. They located Lily in New Jersey. It sounded like they said Sparta, New Jersey, unless my hearing is like going from all the loud music I listen to. But I think they said something about Sparta. And they located him via this burner phone that they found from the guy who I think they're talking about the one that they killed at the hospital. I think the one that Ryan killed at the hospital. Ryan is on the run from the Corbin soldiers. Robert and this guy split up. Then Ryan jumps this guy, and he comes up with this crazy idea to shoot in the sky and allow Robert and this guy to basically take him in. They think that they won the jackpot, but in truth, Ryan has a plan. Because one thing about Ryan Hardy you have to know is that Ryan Hardy never gets himself caught unless he has a plan. So the guy, but before he even lets him catch him, the guy that he kind of jumps says that they have some type of thing going on in New York, but he's not one of the chosen, so he doesn't know what they're going to do. Ryan hears a walkie-talkie and says, if you bring him to me. That's Joe talking. Because Robert basically wants to kill him. And as I said, Ryan fires a shot. They catch him. So the FBI descends on Lily's house, which is completely empty. I wouldn't expect them to be there anyway. And they found Mandi's dead body. Thank God we didn't get to see it again, because seeing it last week was more than enough. What else happened? They realize that there's bad blood between Joe and Lily. This is what Max comes up with, and that's why Mandi died. Alistair Duncan is the character that pops up. I guess he's going to be an integral character next week because he really didn't have too much going on this episode. Robert is questioning Joe's motives regarding Ryan. This is what I was trying to say before, but I got a little bit too carried away and brought this up too early, so I do apologize that. But this is why I'm telling you, Robert's not going to last by the end of the season. Either Emma's going to kill him or Joe's going to get sick of him and take him out. So Emma's out of the loop and she's kind of pissed about it. Robert says that Joe fell apart last year, and I'm just like, Robert, watch yourself. Regardless of what's going on with Joe, regardless of Emma and the way she's feeling angry, don't forget, Emma is a ride or die chick. Emma will kill you for talking against her man. Whether he wants to be with her or not, she will take you out. Ask Paul. Ask any other person involved in this thing from season 1. If you guys haven't seen season 1, definitely watch it, and you'll see Emma is a ride or die chick. Straight ride or die chick. She started out as Joe Carroll's nanny. So you tell me, ride or die chick. Joe says to Ryan that it's splendid, when they're in the room and like Ryan's like tied up with his hands behind his back. He knows that Ryan came alone. He said he thought that they were a pair. I'm like, what type of pair are you talking about? Ryan, you can't see how much you need me. Joe wants to live in infamy. Ryan calls Joe narcissistic. You reflect a part of me, Joe says, and I only see in your presence. You are my best friend. Now, clearly this is Joe's, like, basic verbal suicide note here. Like, he's going to do something crazy before either they catch him or they take him out. I don't think they are, considering there's going to be a 3rd season. But I assume that maybe perhaps Joe's got this end game and Joe's ready to go after what happened with Mandi. So Kingston Tanner goes on TV. They told him to stay off TV. I kind of missed what they were saying because I had to send this email out for my mother, but I don't think it was too much important. I was like maybe like a minute or two. But Joe Carroll is basically Joe Carroll's the epitome of evil. So he's still firing shots at Joe here. And it's like, Joe, he still has your kid, Joe. Tanner, he still has Preston. He could still kill Preston regardless. Joe's that type of guy. So, Joe puts Preston in a room with Ryan, and since he didn't kill Courtney before, he basically makes him kill Courtney, and he says, one of you two is going to have to die, and he says, I can kill you, or you can kill Courtney. This is Joe talking to Preston. Ryan tells him, you are no leverage if you're dead. He's like, he's not going to kill you. Joe asks him if he really wants to die. Preston says, God will forgive me, and he takes a knife and stabs Courtney in the stomach. And she's dead. The FBI learns that Tanner didn't keep his word and he went on TV. Surprise, surprise. Anytime somebody on this show says they're not going to do something, 9 out of 10 times they do it. So they learn that Lily is on her way to Corbin. She's got the whole cavalry, all the mercenaries. So Claire calls up Carrie, basically trying to talk her into getting her on TV, to send a message to Joe. Now, my whole stance on this is that, Claire, you're seriously going to screw everything up. And as per the trailer for next week, it appears that she basically started a fire in this. Welcome to the family, Preston, is what Joe says. And Preston tells him to go to hell. And then someone filmed the whole thing. They take Preston and they're taking him to get cleaned up. Joe says, if I die, then you die, he tells Ryan. Lily's people are at the gate. Lily wants Joe alive. He's hers. Now, Luke and Mark have to stay behind with her because Mark wants to help out, but they make him stay behind. And Emma and Robert are preparing to leave, and they're just like, where's Joe? And they're running to go find Joe because they're going to take him to the safe house. Joe says something about following the final act with something big. Then Joe asks Ryan, do you miss Claire? And I'm just looking at this like, if you only knew she was still alive. She will always be my one real regret, he says. Emma says that there are cars at the gate and that Joe should kill Ryan. Ryan says, Joe decides not to and just wants to escape. And Ryan says, oh, you'll see me again one more time, I promise. Lily's men basically burst into Corbin and they shoot up anyone and everyone that they see. Ryan escapes out of the room. Somehow he breaks the zip tie around his wrists, and there's a dead mercenary, and yeah, I think it was one of the mercenaries at Corbin, and he takes that guy's gun, opens fire, kills all those mercenaries for the most part. The FBI pulls up with a helicopter. They find Lily's men's SUVs, and they're empty, but they can't find Ryan. One mercenary is in the room and he's changing his clip, and Ryan says something to him and he shoots him and he kills him. The FBI pulls into Corbin and sees the dead bodies. Luke ran off. They see like all the bodies in red with blood on them. It's like, it's crazy how they're all red and it's like all this red blood around them. It's like it's a weird image. It's a weird thing going on this episode. So basically, like I said, they pulled in, they saw the dead bodies. We get back to Lily and her crew, and Mark tells Lily that Luke ran off to see what he could to get closer, so Mark goes off to go get his brother, because she's like pissed off. She calls them idiots. I'm like, they pretty much are idiots. They do a lot of stupid stuff. Mike runs off to find Lily because Max says something about her waiting at the south end. And when she has her little rendezvous with her uncle Ryan and they're hugging, and they realize Mike is gone and they're chasing after him. So Joe is planning something big. And then here comes Carrie Cook on television, and she mentions this quote. I only got the first couple lines. It says, "How can I sleep with a view?" And automatically Joe knows that that is Claire, because I believe they probably mentioned that in this. I think it sounds familiar, even more than my English degree. And we had to read, I think we had to read that when I was in college, but even more than that, it sounds like something that he said previously in the previous season. So he realizes that it's Claire, but he's in the safe house, so now he knows that Claire is alive. So Claire has messed everything up, or she started something. So Lily's alone, she's talking to Mike. Mike makes her get on her hands and knees. And here comes Ryan and Max, and they try to stop him from shooting her. He's like, you know what? She said, you're a good man. He said, I used to be a good man. He said, not anymore. So Mike basically puts down his gun. Then he says, I know this won't fix it, but... And then he shoots and he kills Lily. If I went really fast, it's because that's how the episode went. The episode started out slow, and it started picking up once they caught on to Corbin. So my whole thing about this episode, to sum it up, is that next episode is going to be a mess, and apparently they're going into a church. So this is the penultimate part of Joe's little church religion bastardization of the good book thing that he's been doing. And it's basically going to reach its peak because they're going to probably try to take out a whole bunch of people in the church. So 2 things are going to happen since we have 2 episodes left, guys, and then we have 24. We have 2 episodes left, so the 2 main things that are going to happen is Claire is going to get herself into some big mess, and they're going to have to save her. And, in fact, it's not even 2 things. Robert is going to probably die because he keeps on questioning and questioning and questioning. And Emma may be, I'm thinking Emma might be separated from Joe. Maybe Joe's new followers might come out. Tilda's going to die. We all know Tilda's going to die. So that's a given. And we still, don't forget, because I guess a lot of people must have forgotten, Mark and Luke ran off. So they're going to have to deal with Mark and Luke being pissed that their mother's now dead. Think about it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching my review. Definitely check out my channel. Check out my reviews for Believe, Hannibal, and Survivor, and soon to be Fargo, because I'm definitely going to watch Fargo. Oh, geez. As soon as I download that thing, I'm totally getting it. I'm getting it legal on Amazon. But anyway, guys, check me out on @SageValentine at Twitter.com. I hope you can handle it at Blogger.com. And the truth is on WordPress. Thank you guys for viewing. Take care. Have a happy Monday. Bye, guys. Bye.